It's more the reflection. It's more dealing with the dynamics of the figuring out what the reflections of reality are. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
what does this really mean? You know, the whole things that happened between the first and second, in the dynamics of what happened in New Orleans and also what happened in Las Vegas. Interesting, the two party towns that
yeah,
they chose, eh? You know, the
yeah,
two biggest party towns in the United States.
yeah,
So you know that is an interesting dynamic, and it is. But you know, you're looking at the hidden dynamics, and what is being asked of you is to find a moral compass that is beyond religion. All right. The dynamic
yes.
is that each of you, and we know all of you, so we know that you all have it. You all have the dynamic of a moral compass. Some of you, it was religion based, but for most of you, most people who do this kind of work is because they have looked to the dynamic of religion. They have to look to the dynamic of the traditional Godhead, and they have found the dynamic lacking, and so people keep going, looking further and looking deeper and looking more into the metaphysical, simply because the dynamics of that you have been taught about religion is really becoming more and more passe and more outdated. The more you grow, the more you change. And you're growing and changing tremendously now, whether you wish to or not. Some people look at the dynamic in your world. You're going to start seeing a lot more people kicking and screaming about dynamics of energy that they don't even have a grasp upon. And that's simply because the dynamic of awakening is coming from within, and very few people have a communication, a language with that goes on between them and their subconscious. So much of the dynamics of your awarenesses are around the dynamics of how your subconsciouses influence your conscious mind. And in that dynamic, you have gained a certain level of understanding and a certain level of mastery. Most people in your world don't have a clue. So as you can begin to steer people more toward taking responsibility for themselves, and just like all of you, it begins with your words. It begins with how you describe yourself and how you describe your world. Now, that can be out loud, but it can also be a strictly internal dynamic. You know, how many times do you look at a conundrum you say, well, I can't deal with that, you know, or any number of other things that will lead you to negative outcomes simply because you're reaffirming the negative with
Mhm.
your language, with your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. Remember that we say if you line those three things up, you can have instant manifestation. Can have.